Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I was quite busy lately and I'm back now, and today I want to talk about Xbox console sales and the future of Xbox consoles, I guess, because that's what is on people's mind, I guess, which I understand. Xbox consoles are not really selling particularly well recently. So yeah, let's talk about it. But before we talk about it, let's check iniba.com. They offer games for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo and PC, and as always, they've got a ton of games on sale like this Borderlands games over here. Much cheaper than usual, and obviously summer finale, sorry. And let's check the offer. They always have a ton of great games here, like Plague's Tale, for example. This is a fantastic game. This one is cool too. But anyway, let's grab this one. You can get some cashback with these purchases over here as well. And so now let's actually pick the lowest price, which is this one. So let's buy now. And as always, we can add more games to the cart. Horizon, I've got it already. Yeah, how about Yakuza game? So let's add it to the cart as well. And now let's just go to checkout, and voila. All you have to do now is just select a payment of your choice, and that's it. You're done, guys. So iniba.com, you will find the link in the description of this video below. Alright, so let's talk about Xbox consoles. Now, Xbox this generation hasn't really been selling that well. I mean, they were selling a ton of consoles at the very beginning of this generation. So I guess like the very first 2 years of this generation, they were really selling a lot of consoles. And I guess one of the reasons behind that was that a hardcore Xbox users, generally speaking, Xbox users overall that are familiar with that environment and that ecosystem, they just, Xbox is a first choice for them. And, obviously a lot of people just basically purchased a new Xbox when it was available, right? So, but then obviously the market saturated, the Xbox user base is smaller than PlayStation, for example, for many reasons. I'm not here today to actually talk about it really. There's many reasons why PlayStation more popular games, for example, but Xbox is kind of fixing that right now. But anyway, lately, especially last year, maybe last year and a half, they were really dropping numbers. So, the console's still selling, but it's actually selling way below everyone's expectations, I guess, right? Microsoft expected the console to sell well. And obviously things like games on PC day one doesn't necessarily help, and which is understandable, but Microsoft makes more money this way. But also the whole policy of like releasing some games on other platforms doesn't necessarily help selling Xbox consoles too. But me personally, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I play a lot of games on PC, on PlayStation sometimes too, so like all these games, that's fine. Now the biggest selling point of Xbox is Game Pass, obviously, and I think they are really building the whole Xbox ecosystem around it, not only on Xbox console but also PC, and now cloud is they seem to be more active on the cloud side as well. Obviously, to play Xbox game streaming, I think they call it, you need an Xbox Game Pass subscription, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, right? So that's how they make money. But still, the console hardware, Xbox hardware sales numbers are going down, so they are selling less and less. So what's going to happen in the future? Well, there's two possibilities, right? Okay, so first one, this is a temporary thing. Now, the whole being down on sales, right? I mean, what actually, because what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Microsoft published, I think, like numbers for like a last quarter or something like that, like a final quarter of the, financial year. And, I think the sales numbers for the console was like 40 or 46% down year over year, so from the previous years. So this year, last year was really not like calendar year, but like fiscal year was really bad for Xbox when it comes to console sales. And why? Because there were no games. I mean, let's face it, right? I mean, I guess they had Starfield and Forza, and I think that was the only quarter where Microsoft was actually 3% up year over year when it comes to sales, hardware sales. But other quarters where they had no other big games, they were down. I mean, Hellblade 2 didn't really help much because it was a very niche title and not many people actually was interested in playing this game. There was, the game is good, very good. I actually enjoyed it, but it's not for everyone, that's for sure, for many reasons. It's a walking simulator, very story driven. Also, it's a kind of like a horror game, and it's, it tackles, issues with, about like mental health and that kind of stuff. So it's not necessarily to everyone's liking, I guess. I understand it. But, Hellblade, generally speaking, didn't really help either. But, if you look at like last year, except really last 3 months of last year, they haven't had any content much, right? Because that's the thing, that's the problem with Xbox, is that that has been an issue for a very long time, where Xbox is kind of focusing on releasing games like in last 3-4 years of the year, so pre-holiday season really, and they have got nothing exciting outside that 3-4 months late each year, right? So it is what it is, really. Microsoft really needs to start pumping games on a more regular basis. There's been a ton of delays now. Stalker 2 has been delayed till November. Avowed got delayed till February. Did I hear that right? So things are it's still not bad necessarily, because funny enough, the fact that Avowed is going to be in February, that's going to give Xbox a big game during that period, right? So it's not going to be dry as hell like, last year, for example. So, Microsoft really needs to start planning and spreading out all these releases, not just, so maybe that's why Avowed was basically delayed, because, there's reports saying that Avowed was ready for November. But it looks like, after some internal debate, Microsoft decided to actually delay that game. That's fine. That should be totally fine, because we're still waiting, and it's 6th of August, right? We're still waiting for Starfield DLC, Shattered Space. Rumors says that it's going to be coming in September. So that's actually that's going to be good, because there's no other Xbox game around it. Then October, I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is coming out. So I think the rumor says 20th something, of October. So it's not, apparently it's not a November game. Then in November, Xbox is releasing Starfield 2 for Xbox and PC and Game Pass. Obviously, all these games I'm talking about here are going to be Game Pass day one. And then Indiana Jones is being rumored to be a December game, right? Big release each month. That sounds very, very good. So, when it comes to Avowed, releasing, I guess, releasing Stalker 2 and Avowed in the same month doesn't necessarily make much sense, especially that Call of Duty is going to be out and a lot of people will be still playing Call of Duty and that kind of stuff. And new Dragon Age game is coming out in October. So I guess it makes sense to delay Avowed. that will give Obsidian Entertainment a little bit more time to actually even to polish the game even better. So hopefully it will be better technically speaking. So yeah, as for other games, like there's still some titles that have been announced and we still don't know what's going on with them. What's going on with Ark 2? What's going on with that Towerborn game? We still don't know. So Gamescom is coming very soon, so we're hopefully going to learn more about it. I mean, basically, we just need dates, right? So that's one thing. One of the reasons why Xbox as a console is not selling as expected was basically still, I'm afraid, lack of compelling games. It's not like there were no games at all, just first-party Xbox Game Pass. Because trust me, if Microsoft have had at least 1 or 2 games every month, every other month or something, that would look totally different. The sales numbers and the conversations, right? But Microsoft cannot just keep pumping these games like at the very end of the year, so hopefully next year that's going to change, and Avowed looks like it's going to be one of the games that will be one of the early next year games. So that's reason one, right? Not enough games, games not being spread out. Another issue is the fact that, okay, so not necessarily issue. Let's talk about future, right? So looks like Microsoft is really moving away from a traditional console model, right? And I said issue because it is being portrayed online as an issue, but I don't really look at it this way. Maybe because I'm a PC gamer as well, not primarily, but I play a lot of games on PC, Steam, and that kind of stuff, right? So it doesn't bother me. I mean, having a cool console that would be able to play both Xbox and Steam games, hey, that's up my alley, right? I mean, give it to me. I will be more than happy to actually purchase such a console, right? I mean, that would literally be a PC in a console format. But then again, still, you would still get the Xbox experience, the console experience, meaning games would be still optimized for the console. The whole out of plug and play kind of experience still needs to be there, because that's very important, right? So because people say, oh, Microsoft is just going to support PC, and they do, right? I mean, there's clearly a big focus on PC gamers these days, but it doesn't change the fact that Microsoft doesn't really abandon consoles. But the only thing is that these Xbox consoles of the future are going to be a little bit different, in a sense that they are not going to be as close in terms of like environment, operating system, that kind of stuff, and features as they used to be, which is good, because like I said, as long as console gamers or console only gamers going to get a console experience, meaning you plug the console to the power socket to TV, you turn it on, you grab your controller, you've got your user interface, you select a game, you play it, and you get it, right? So if console gamers going to get that, hey, I mean, who cares if the operating system is going to be more open for other stores or not? You're still getting that experience, right? I mean, consoles is really about that. It's all about that Xbox ecosystem. Easy to use, plug and play. Achievements, of course. Like, people still love it. So yeah, I think the fact that Microsoft is kind of shifting more towards more PC-like kind of console, I've got no problem with that. I mean, to be honest with you, these consoles, both PlayStation and Xbox these days, they are just basically modified PC machines with a little bit different operating system on top of it, right? Microsoft is even using, Windows kernel, right? So the obviously user interface is different, but the core of the system that's Windows, right? So listen, at the end of the day, I understand that some people may get worried about that whole thing, but I wouldn't necessarily worry about it that much, because as long as Xbox is going to get users into their ecosystem, whether that's via PC or console. Another thing is that they are planning a handheld, so the handheld may actually bring some new users as well. That's going to be an interesting battle next gen, because sounds like PlayStation is planning as some sort of a handheld too, and Nintendo Switch 2 is coming next year, so that's going to be an interesting battle on that front too. So and also remember, another thing why Microsoft won't stop making consoles or hardware overall is the fact that they need an efficient chips to put into the server racks for Xbox game streaming, right? Because using PCs or the server hardware is not necessarily the most efficient way, because they, generally speaking, these PC, server blades, they are more towards like, AI and that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that you can't run them, but I can imagine that they are quite expensive to run. But, because it's all about like, power consumption. Like, listen, I understand that NVIDIA is running like these games on like RTX 4080s and 90s in the server racks and stuff, but these machines are actually power hungry, right? I mean, let's face it, my PC is not the most powerful one. I've got RTX 3070 and I've got like 750 watts power supply there. I'm not saying that it's using all that power, but like 450, 400, 500 watts, playing a more demanding game for sure, while Xbox is using like 180. So that's like almost 3 times less, in some scenarios. So 3 times less power consumption on the server side is like three times less of an electricity bill for Microsoft. These things are very important when it comes to running a company, especially server blades and that kind of stuff, right? So, Microsoft will still need these console-like power-efficient chips to run these games in the cloud. So if they've got the chips and they've got all that ecosystem and everything, right, they may as well just keep on building these consoles, even for a very niche market, like in the future, right? I mean, even if they were to sell just, I don't know, 50, 20, 30 million consoles, that's still extra revenue for them, right? So anyway, guys, listen, so yeah, it's been a while since I made a video. Maybe that's why this video is kind of long. But yeah, I'm not going to be posting too often because, like I said, I'm still busy. It's summer holidays too. I'll be still posting gameplays and that kind of stuff, but a little bit different than in the last couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. And if you like that kind of content, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.